Hello everyone, Metallian Magic here, and today I will be opening a fat pack of the new core set 2015 with Garrick, now black-green Garrick. He's Veil Cursed and he's hunting bigger game, according to the press release. So I'd be excited to pull a Garrick out of this fat pack. Briefly, if there is any background noise that is audible in this video, my neighbor is mowing his lawn. This is sort of the period during the day when I have to film this video due to other commitments, so I apologize in advance if there's any annoying background noise. I tried to muffle it up as much as possible, basically with a window shade. So let's do it. So as I've said before with the channel, I endeavor to open a fat pack of every set that is released from here on out. I really enjoy opening these because it gives you a nice little snapshot of what you can pick up in the set. You don't open, you know, as many packs as you would in a booster box, but you open enough to get a nice feel for the vibe of a particular set. You also get some nice bonuses that I personally really enjoy. I really like the fact that on the inside of the outer packaging sleeve, you get, which I just took away there, you get a poster. I really like the player's guide. It's probably my favorite part of opening up fat packs, other than of course getting the cards, but I really like these because I like collecting them. I like having a card reference. Sometimes it's nice when introducing a set to newer players. I have a friend who's just getting into the game, and it'll be kind of nice to bring this over to their place and to kind of show them a little bit about each color's sort of base strategies, and the way that you know, in here you get a little snippet about the planeswalker that's associated with each color, and then some of the cards in the set and sort of deck building suggestions you get, and which is a bit different from the player's guide for an expert level expansion like Theros. This is geared a little bit more towards players of all different skill levels, new and returning players, and enfranchised players alike. You've got some information on the various planes that are referenced on the Mythic Soul cycle, like Theros and Ravnica and Innistrad and Chandalar and Zendikar and New Phyrexia. And these are all present in the player's guide here. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go over everything in here, but as you can see, some really cool art, really cool Planeswalker alternate art, like Nissa right over here. Very cool. Not from her. That might be from Nissa's Expedition, actually, one of the cards in the set. I'm not sure, but it's not from her Planeswalker card, which, like, that is the art from her Planeswalker card, which also is something I would hope to pull in this fat pack. 10 coolest cards from the set, as chosen by Adam Prosak, who's a Magic developer, and he just kind of compiled a list here of 10 cards that he really likes in the set, and kind of gives you an overview of the cards that stick out to him, which is neat. And then you get, of course, the full card encyclopedia, where you just get images of every card in the set, and then collector's sort of checklists in the back. So these are really cool. I think they did a great job on, and this one's actually a little thicker and feels a little more full than, say, like the Born of the Gods or the Journey into Nyx player's guide. So that's definitely an item that I really enjoy having. Now let's get on to the fat pack. Of course, you get this neat box, and you can store cards in the rectangular box that the fat pack comes in. I like doing that. Sometimes I'll just put basic lands in the box so that if I'm, you know, going to do a casual draft, or I'm just kind of like building some new decks or testing out some new ideas, and I want to just quickly grab some basic land, I just have land organized in one of these. It's a nice way to organize something straightforward like that. Fat packs come with 9 booster packs, randomly color selected, spin down life counter. This one has a black one, this particular fat pack, but it's not guaranteed. You'll get a color. And then it comes with some cheap deck boxes, and these aren't really anything special. They don't hold sleeved cards. But this year for the core set, the deck boxes, this one has an image of Garrick and the core set logo and the Planeswalker logo. And this one has the same core set and Planeswalker emblem. The other side of this one has Garrick, but with his green aura. So if you put them together, you kind of get one picture, which is pretty neat. They haven't really done that. At least during Theros block, the boxes that came with the fat packs contained sort of standalone art on each box, not a piece of art that was kind of meant to be jammed together and made into one slightly larger piece. So that's kind of a neat feature. I like that. So let's get into these booster packs. Okay. Of course, the Fat Pack also comes with, I believe, 80 basic lands, evenly divided between the 5, obviously plains, island, swamp, forest, and mountain, and that's kind of just, it's a thing. I mean, players who've played for a while have a lot of basic lands most likely, but you also get this rules reference card in the M15 Fat Pack, which is kind of neat. Again, if you were going to get a product as a present for a newer player, you could do a lot worse than a Fat Pack. And this has the parts of a turn on one side, and on the other side it has just kind of the basic rules for how to read a card and basic card types, permanents versus instants and sorceries and lands and whatnot. So nothing too groundbreaking here, but a nice thing nonetheless. All right, pack number 1. So of course, as many of you might know, M15 features a new card border. I'm getting used to it. I personally am in the minority here. I've talked to a lot of people that disagree with me. The little curvature of the colored border kind of bothers me. I used to like, I like things that are more symmetrical. I like the border kind of encircling the art text box and the entire central portion of the card. However, I understand that they wanted to make cards more easily machine readable, and that by having this black space at the bottom with all of the collectors and set information and artists information and copyright and whatnot, it was much easier for them to accomplish that. So I understand the purpose. I'll get used to it, and I do like the anti-counterfeit hollow foil stamp on the rares and mythics. I think that's very cool. So Tireless Missionaries, Peel from Reality, Flesh to Dust, Naturalize, Borderland Marauder, Raise the Alarm, Divination, Will-Forged Golem, Scrapyard Mongrel. First uncommon in this pack is Hot Soup. Yep. Restock, which actually originally was printed as a rare and has now been reprinted as an uncommon. Staff of the Mind Magus. And our first mythic or rare, it's a land. It's a Land War Wastes. Cool. So this is one of the reprinted Pain lands. They reprinted the enemy pair Pain lands. So Land War Wastes is the Golgari, the black-green Pain land, and I had 3 of them before because I played when I was a kid, and I have some of these Pain lands from their original printing in Apocalypse, so yay, I have a play set of these now. Awesome. Ooh, and a Foil Rummaging Goblin, which is actually sweet because I don't know if I've mentioned this on camera before, I probably have, but the first deck I ever built was a Goblin deck back when I was 11 or 12, and so I kind of have an affinity for Goblins. Fairly soon I will actually be posting a deck tech based on or centered around one of the decks that I played in an M15 pre-release, and Goblin Rabblemaster did some work for me in that deck, so I've always kind of had a thing for the Goblin tribal strategy, and collecting foil Goblin cards is something that I'm a big fan of, so personally, so that's cool. It's a good way to start. Good pack to start off with. We've got, oh nice, and we've got one of the 3/3 Death Touch Beast tokens that Garrick Apex Predator makes. Could that be foreshadowing? I hope. Good pack to start off with though. Cool stuff. Now we have Divine Favor, Nimbus of the Isles, Foundry Street Denizen, Ranger's Guile, Carrion Crow, Chrono Stutter, a non-foil Rummaging Goblin, Bronze Sable, Oresco Swiftclaw, Negate. Our first uncommon is Wall of Essence. Okay. And then we've got Heat Ray. Then we've got Devouring Light. And our rare or mythic, a Burning Anger. Okay. So this is an enchantment, and we have an insect token, Flying Death Touch, that is created by both Hornet Nest and Hornet Queen in this set. So there's some cool tokens. And also new token design, obviously, with the new border, but there's a slightly new token design with the title box as well. So That's pretty cool. All right. Keep it moving along. Pack 3. We've got Void Snare, Clear Path, Triplicate Spirits. Definitely a very powerful card in Limited, something that I experienced firsthand. I was on the receiving end of a beating by Triplicate Spirits at one of the pre-releases that I went to. Charging Rhino, Accursed Spirit, Chrono Stutter, Borderland Marauder, Oresco Swiftclaw, Encrust, Torch Fiend. First uncommon is Sunblade Elf. We have Paragon of Open Graves. We have Ancient Silverback. This is another card, like Restock, that was originally printed as a rare and has now been reprinted in M15 as an uncommon. It's gotten a common or a rarity downgrade. And a rare mythic, Mercurial Pretender. Wah, wah. Not that great. At least not a pull that's all that great. The thing about this card is you can only copy, it's a clone, but you can only copy creatures you control. It costs 5 to cast. You can return it to your hand for 2 blue, so you can reuse comes into play effects by bouncing it back to your hand and then casting it again and cloning something. You can just sort of clone something later on in the game once you've, especially in Limited, if you sort of draw your bomb or a big dragon after you've cast this, cloning something like, I don't know, Frost Links, then you just bounce it back to your hand and then play it again the next turn, probably, since it's so mana intensive. I mean, there are applications for it, but it is mana intensive. It costs 5 to cast, it costs 4 to activate its ability, and it can't copy your opponent's creatures. I definitely heard a lot of people at the various pre-releases I went to saying that of the promos, this was, if not the one, then one of the ones that they were least excited about, and many people shied away from blue because of this being the blue promo, which is just interesting food for thought. Anything cool? Nope, no token. A Liliana Vest tip card. So they do have, that's something that they have in these packs, and I think that might be not only because the Planeswalkers are obviously their main characters and sort of the poster children of the game, but because the Magic movie is going to be filmed, produced. There's a Magic movie in the works, and assumingly many of the Planeswalkers that we know and love will be part of that storyline, and I think that they want to really sort of make those characters visible. And so some of the token spots in these packs contain a tip card that kind of gives you a little overview of the Planeswalkers in the set, their sort of personality, their abilities, what their focus is, and that's neat. So we've got Frostlinks, Hammerhand, Oppressive Rays, Necromancer's Assistant, Hunt the Weak, Sanctified Charge, Willforged Golem, Chrono Stutter, Borderland Marauder, Oresco Swiftclaw, which we've gotten a bunch of those already. First uncommon, Wall of Essence, then First Response, then Circle of Flame, and a Haunted Plate Mail. So this is an interesting card, certainly. It costs 4 mana. Equipped creature gets +4/+4. It equips for 4, but you can pay 0 and turn it into a 4/4 spirit artifact creature, but you can only activate that if you control no other creatures. Or I guess no creatures, because then this would be, once you activate it, the only creature that you control. And it only lasts until end of turn. Of course, you can do this on your opponent's turn if you control no creatures, so no foil. Alright, so ooh, I keep bumping the tripod today. Llanowar Wastes was neat. That first pack was cool. Since then, we've been on a bit of a decline, but that just means that we're saving the best for last in this video. So we've got one more pack in this section, then we've got to unwrap the other section, and then we'll have 4 more packs to go after that. So this one has Thundering Giant, Ephemeral Shields, Coral Barrier, Miner's Bane, Siege Worm, Flesh to Dust, Invasive Species, Mind Rot, Radiant Fountain, Satyr Wayfinder. First uncommon is a Darksteel Citadel, very cool. Seraph of the Masses, Warden of the Beyond. We've been receiving a lot of white uncommons in these packs so far, just kind of interesting to note. And we've got another Land of War Wastes, Dose Wastes. So that's cool though, because certainly now that I have 5 of them, these are probably going to be in demand, and they're not going to be, you know, worth as much as something like a Shockland, obviously, but cool to have one as something I can throw in my trade binder. No foil, but a zombie token. 2 Land of War Wastes, 1 Fat Pack. Alright, so now we're going to be opening the other 4 packs. Of course, I don't need to open this up right now for you guys, but here's the Brick of Land. Okay. I used my Jedi powers to move that Brick of Land over to the other part of the table, by the way, in case those of you out there who with a keen eye were watching. So, Welkin Turn, Miner's Bane, Ephemeral Shields, Frostlinks, Vine Weft, Covenant of Blood, Mind Rot, Radiant Fountain, Satyr Wayfinder, Sign in Blood. First uncommon is a Venom Sliver, then a Constricting Sliver, and then, I was hoping to go for the 3 sliver pack, Staff of the Sun Magus. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a Hushwing Griff. Sweet, so this is a card that a lot of people are excited about. I love the art, by the way. It's really cool with the sort of Gavany Township buildings in the background. And this is a cool creature. It's a 2/1 flash flying for 2 and a white, and it's like Torpor Orb on a creature. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. So, it's neat. Alright, no mythics yet. 3 packs to go. Now, of course, Fat Packs are kind of a gamble because, of course, I say of course, but some of you might not know this, the distribution of mythics and rares is not as evenly spread in Fat Packs as it is in booster boxes. So I've seen people open Fat Packs with 4 mythics. I've seen people open Fat Packs with 0 mythics. So it's just one of the gambles that you accept when you buy a Fat Pack. But we have 3 packs to go, so we'll see what happens. We've got an Amphin Pathmage, a Wall of Fire, Midnight Guard, a Void Snare, Shadow Cloak Vampire, Hunter's Ambush, Invasive Species, Tyrant's Machine, Living Totem, Mind Rot. First uncommon is a Darksteel Citadel. Then another restock. We got one of those earlier in the Fat Pack. A Feral Incarnation, and a Soul of Zendikar. So there's a mythic. This is the Green Soul. It's a 6/6. All the souls are 6/6s for 4 color. In this case, green. It's a creature avatar. It has reach, and you can pay 3 green to put a 3/3 green beast creature token onto the battlefield. You can also activate this ability from the graveyard, but at the additional cost of exiling Soul of Zendikar from your graveyard to do so. So that's a pretty cool card. I mean, a lot of people with Nissa and now with Garruk are, that I know anyway, are interested in brewing Green Devotion decks using some of the new tools that M15 provides. That being said, there is kind of a glut of choices at the big creature for 4, 5, 6 mana slot. You know, there are a lot of options. Hydra Broodmaster, Genesis Hydra, Pelucranos, although he costs 4 and I think is definitely an inclusion in that deck. Now Soul of Zendikar, I mean, it'll be interesting to do some testing with various builds of that deck and to see which creatures work the best in various matchups, you know, concerning various potential metagame changes. But that being said, I think all the souls at least have potential, some more than others, but this is one that I think does have some potential to see standard play, though again, until I test with it, I really don't know. And of course, Khans of Tarkir is going to change the metagame significantly, not only because of what it will add, but because of what it heralds which is the rotation of Return to Ravnica, Gatecrash, Dragon's Maids, and M14. All right. And a Spirit. So, we have one Mythic, and we have 2 packs. We have no Planeswalkers yet, so it'd be nice if a Planeswalker were waiting to surprise us at the end of this fat pack, but we've got an Oppressive Raise, a Coral Barrier, a Forge Devil, a Triplicate Spirits, a Covenant of Blood, a Hunt the Weak, a Netcaster Spider, a Rot Feaster Maggot, which is one of the grossest names on any Magic card ever created, Undergrowth Scavenger. Our first uncommon is Brood Keeper. Then we have Act on Impulse and Reclamation Sage, which is also a potentially sweet card for a Green Devotion deck. And a Battlefield Forge. Cool. So not a Planeswalker, not a Mythic, but I was hoping to pick up copies of Painlands over the first few weeks of the set's release, and this is the Boros, the red-white Painland Battlefield Forge. Sweet. Ooh, and a foil rare. Now, granted, this is not exactly one of the most financially relevant foil rares in the set, but there are definitely Commander EDH players who, that I know anyway, that have dragon-themed EDH decks. A lot of them are the type of people that like to foil out their decks, and so this is a very cool, foil dragons I don't think are ever a terrible thing to acquire. And the art looks really, really cool. It's not totally as cool on camera. I mean, looking at it with my naked eyes here, the area around the mouth and the neck specifically look really, really sweet. You can kind of see it from that angle. But that being said, foil rare dragon, pretty sweet. I will certainly not complain. One more pack. All right. Last pack. Hammerhand, Divine Favor, Nimbus of the Isles, Foundry Street Denizen, Vine Weft, Covenant of Blood, Elvish Mystic, Crippling Blight, Carnivorous Moss Beast, Eternal Thirst. Our first uncommon is Act on Impulse, then Stab Wound. Great art on that card. Here, I'll bring that a little. I mean, kind of gross because she's got a stab wound, but I love the amount of detail that Scott Chu puts into his art. So we've got Sacred Armory and a Stormtide Leviathan. Not exactly ending on a bang. I mean, this guy's big. He's an 8/8 for 5 blue. Island Walk. All lands or islands, in addition to their other types, creatures without flying or island walk can't attack. Certainly a really strong finisher in a dedicated limited control deck. Like an 18 land, blue-black, grindy control deck can certainly use this effectively as a finisher. But just kind of for our last. Yeah, just kind of. All right, so that kind of shows you, I mean, some of the fat packs I've opened in the past. You've seen a 3 mythic fat pack from Born of the Gods, 2 mythic, both mythics being gods, fat pack from Journey into Nyx. So this one had some sweet stuff, but certainly not quite as epic as those fat packs from that perspective. That being said, we got a soul, we got a rare foil dragon, Hushwing Gryff is a cool card, 3 Painlands is also something that I'm excited about. So all in all, this was a fun fat pack to open, and I think M15 is a set that appeals to a wide range of demographics. M15 seems to be something that has cards for EDH players, something that has cards that are going to shake up standards, something that has a couple of potential modern or legacy playable cards. It has cards that people are excited to brew around. It has cards that are exciting for casual players. It has, some powerful slivers that were kind of given as a gift to those people who are a little bit disappointed with the sliver inclusions in M14 and wanted a legendary sliver and a sliver land and, you know, things that are in M15. So I think this is a cool set. I definitely think that they did a lot to make this set exciting. I think that it was important that they did so with the growth of the game in recent years and with the transition to a new border to kind of not only continue to build on the momentum they've been acquiring, but also to kind of just take some attention away from those people like myself that were a little bit, not super disappointed about the new border, but just not in love with it. And again, I know a lot of people really like it, but I think the set is really cool. I think it's doing its job really well, and I will do my best to open some more M15 on the channel. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing a deck tech soon, and I will be talking about a black-red aggressive deck that I built at one of the M15 pre-releases that I attended. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, this is Metallian Magic signing out. Thanks for watching.